Hello, YouTube.
Hello, Tube you. Okay. We are having our discussion on the Lord of the Flies.
By William Golding.
Yes, we're on the chapter
5.
The Beast
of Water.
Beast from the Water.
He's from the water. Yeah, he's from water.
Okay. And we have some discussion questions here. Here's a discussion question that we will be focusing on. How is the conch slowly losing importance? Well, you see, the conch is no longer that important. It doesn't have what it used to have. It's not very significant. As you can see on page 98, Jack tells Piggy to shut up, even though he had the conch. And when the characters have the conch, people are supposed to listen to them. But Jack just told him to shut up, even though he had the conch. As you can see, the conch is no longer that important. It's not very significant.
I disagree with you because in the beginning, because Jack doesn't let Piggy use the conch. That's it. Even in the beginning of the book, in the first chapter, when they first got the conch, Jack wouldn't let Piggy use the conch. But still, in page 98, he still won't let him. It's just they don't like each other. Yeah. Okay.
Kirby. I agree with Nazir because to how I read it is the conch represents society and the rules of society. So the conch represents the grown-ups. And because the conch represents a grown-up and there really is no grown-up, it means that that little society of just the kids is falling apart because the conch, which represents grown-ups, but it's not an actual grown-up. The conch can't really say, do this, do that to a certain person. It's basically an object that just sits there and does nothing. That's it.
So would you say that Jack has a big part in the conch losing its power? Because I think that Jack and his choir owns about half of the group, and they have a big influence on it. So when Jack sort of just breaks the rule of interrupting the conch, would you think that? Yeah.
Well, I don't think it actually lost power because, whenever Ralph reminded those kids that he has the conch, they actually, stop talking. Mm-hmm. So, and also, what else?
But I think what Jack is doing is he's because he became the hunter, Jack's personality has changed him, which is affecting Ralph and everyone else. So he's being more evil to the whole group. And you see on page 101, it says, Piggy's right, Ralph. There's you and Jack, go on being chief. From that line, I get that Ralph is being fed up of what Jack is saying to him, and Jack is just being, I shouldn't say this, but he's being an asshole, and Ralph is being fed up, and he's literally saying to Jack, you be the chief, and you do what you think is right, because Ralph is saying what Jack is doing is actually wrong.
But now, since the conch is slowly losing its significance, and we see Jack trying to undermine it, then we may come to the point of if the conch may become completely obsolete at some point, and in which the whole situation engages into anarchy, in which that may be a possibility.
So, would Ralph also lose his power as a chief if the conch becomes obsolete?
Yeah, I agree with you, JP, but I don't because Ralph can be a good leader, but he just doesn't take charge. The conch is just one item that uses him to let him speak, which doesn't really mean much. But then Ralph, if he actually took charge, he would have been able to control the Jack. And Jack wouldn't be an asshole, like Gerald said. So, just because the conch is going to lose importance at one point, it just happened sooner than they thought.
But overall in the story, we have to like wonder if the conch is really necessary. If Ralph actually needs it to be a leader, or is it more based on his leadership abilities than having the conch? Because the conch plays a significant role to a certain degree, and like in the beginning of the book, it was used to call everyone over. And during the beginning, it held a lot of importance. But is the conch really necessary for leadership?
I don't think so. It's just one item, like that shouldn't be able to judge if you're a leader or not.
Like, I find that the conch is literally one object, and an object can't silence or put rules into someone. It's an object that doesn't do anything. It's basically
An inanimate object.
yeah, it like nothing.
I believe that the conch like symbolizes like power, because whoever holds it like has like basically has the right to speak. Then back to the question itself, it's beginning to lose its symbol of power.
But still, nobody follows it. Even though it's a significance of power, no one follows it. They're gonna keep. How do I phrase that? Here.
But to a certain degree, the conch still does hold power. Like, when Ralph blows it, little ones still come. And it may not hold that much power over maybe Jack, but that comes maybe out of him wanting to be a leader. And that may explain a lot of his quarrels with Ralph and him trying to take power.
Yes, it still does hold power, but you see at the end of chapter 5 that that the assembly dissolves, but he doesn't blow the conch. So at the end of chapter 5, you start to notice the conch is actually losing the power. And it's fast, too. It's losing it fast. Just for that, like, chapter, it's losing it fast.
But didn't he decide to not blow the conch? Because if he blew it, he already blew it once, and then the group got out of hand again. If he blew it another time, wouldn't the group, like Jack and his group, think that he's sort of like being too much of a leader?
That's what he is. He is the leader. He needs to take. There has to be one person in charge to take care of everything, to know what to do, what not to do. But then there's other people on the island that they do what they want.
I read that why he didn't blow the conch was because the group was getting too out of hand, and if he blew it, it would make too much of an upset.
That's true, but it might have been since he already blew the conch once, and everybody dissolved and turned to a little bit of anarchy. But if he had blown it twice, the conch maybe would have lost a lot of significance.
But well, I don't think it's actually losing power, because, like, as I told you, whenever Ralph reminded the people that he has the conch, they actually be quiet and listen to him.
Yeah.
And also when Piggy held the conch, Ralph was keep on reminding everyone that he has the conch, you know. So people actually try to. Well, I think it's only Jack who's trying to go against the conch, because it's the power. I think it symbolizes the power of Ralph, like authority. So. Yeah.
I think Jack's upset that he didn't get to be the leader, and that's why he's going against the rules of the conch, and that's why it's slowly starting to lose the importance.
Since the conch is tied with Jack's power, you might wonder if the conch loses significance and becomes obsolete. Wouldn't Jack's leadership follow that? Jack would no longer be leader?
Ralph.
Yeah, I mean Ralph.
I think once the conch becomes obsolete, I think that Ralph would become sort of like a dictator. Because that's what the conch was supposed to stop from happening. The conch was sort of the sign of the democracy and equality.
But the thing was that Ralph wasn't the one who found the conch. It was Piggy. So it was Piggy's idea to actually use the conch as a symbol of high importance. So parents or something like that.
To add to JP said, how Ralph will be a dictator, I don't think so, because just because he had the conch doesn't work anymore, he has to take charge. He has to tell everyone what to do. The conch is not going to say what to do, what not to do. So I don't think Ralph can be a dictator.
Well, if the democracy represented by the conch, democracy is represented by the conch. The conch becomes obsolete. Wouldn't that lead to no more democracy?
Pretty much. That's what I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't Ralph lose all the power if the conch loses power? Because he's the one who suggested the idea of conch, right?
Yeah.
So like, how can he be dictator if he loses the power? If the conch loses his power?
Also, the other thing that could happen is that it could either turn into an anarchy where like everyone can do what they want, or it can be Ralph taking complete power over everything.
Well, but Ralph is kind of losing power right now because Jack's going against Ralph. So like they're fighting, and Jack has like his own authority, which is like the quiet voice. So like he's like another like subset of power inside Ralph's group. He's kind of rebelling against Ralph's group. So like
So it may happen that if the conch is gone and Ralph loses power, that Jack may try to overthrow him. It's because he no longer has the power, and the democracy symbolized by the conch.
They're not in society and they're out in the wild, and they don't have like any credibility in them, so they have to like teach themselves. And if they do like stupid things,
That is all.
obviously they're going to become some nature. So Ralph wants to be like
Subscribe.
Subscribe.